Rockstar Games is going to be officially removing a feature of GTA Online on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now, of course, we know that Rockstar has been adding newer features to the current gen versions of the game on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. Things like the HSW vehicles, of course, those never came to the older gen consoles. GTA Plus, I believe, isn't even on the older gen versions. And most recently, Rockstar added animals to the current gen versions of the game, but not to PS4 and Xbox One, or PC even. So we've known for a while that Rockstar has been sort of distancing themselves a little bit from the older versions of the game, but now we have confirmation that they will be removing a feature. And there's actually some interesting info here that we can gather for all players, not just old gen players. So let's talk about it. The feature itself is not that big of a deal for most players, I would assume. So let's see what Rockstar actually said. Here on Twitter or X, Rockstar Support said, support for Rockstar Editor and saved clips or projects on PS4 and Xbox One is ending on February 20. And they go on to confirm in the actual blog post that yes, this will be removed for GTA 5 as well as GTA Online. So not just GTA Online, in GTA 5 as well, this is going to be removed. I'm sure they have a reason for this. I'm not quite sure what that reason is right now, but what's interesting is for the trophies on PS4, like the achievements, the actual trophies, one of those, I believe, is you have to export a clip using the Rockstar Editor. So this is actually tied to achievements. I'm not sure what Rockstar is going to do with that going forward, but this is just another nail in the coffin for the older gen versions of the game. As I mentioned before, Rockstar is adding features to the current gen versions that they're not adding to the older gen versions nowadays, and every few months it seems like Rockstar is just trying to push people away from the older gen versions of the game a little bit more. And for some reason it seems like they're even trying to push people away from PC, but maybe that's a topic for another video. As far as we know, Rockstar Editor will be staying on PC for a long time, so don't worry. But what's interesting about this date here, February 20, is a lot of people are speculating that this will be the release date of an upcoming content update, maybe a DLC, we'll have to see. And there actually is pretty good reason to believe this. So let's break it down. February 20 is actually a Tuesday. Now, if you know anything about GTA Online DLCs, they all come out on Tuesdays. Weekly updates come out on Thursdays, but DLCs come out on Tuesday. So the fact that Rockstar is making a big change on a Tuesday here is interesting. But TGG, Rockstar never releases updates this early in the year. They're normally around June or July, and then again in December. Well, that's actually not true completely. If we look back to just earlier in 2023, in the middle of February, on I believe February 16, Rockstar dropped a massive new 50-car garage, as well as a bunch of new features like the stash houses, store robberies, and street dealers. Then, just 1 month later, they launched the Last Dose story missions, along with a bunch of new vehicles. Basically, it was a mini DLC, and that was around the middle of March. It's also pretty clear to me that Rockstar has a different plan going into 2024, mainly the fact that they've almost completely finished the drip feed vehicles already, and the Chop Shop DLC only came out just 1 month ago. So, okay, what would this surprise DLC actually be? Well, if we do get a DLC here, which, I mean, I'm kind of 50-50 on, I can see both sides of the argument, but if we do get a DLC, I think it will be the Clucking Bell Farm Raid. If you haven't been keeping up to date, basically Rockstar has added a new heist, or at least we think it's going to be a heist, into the game. In fact, it's already in the game files, and you're seeing some footage of this heist now. This is the opening cutscene. What we know about this heist or mission, I'm just going to call it a heist. What we know about it is it's got a silent and a loud approach. Completing the heist will unlock the Hellfire police car, and we even know that successfully completing or failing setup missions will have an effect on the finale. For example, in one of the setups, we already know from the game files that if the enemies you're trying to take out alert the factory before you can take them out, then the enemies in the Clucking Bell factory when you get to the finale will actually be on high alert. So if you mess up on the setups, the finale is going to be harder, which is actually pretty cool, and I'm interested to see how Rockstar implements this. So while this definitely isn't confirmation of a release date, we at least have our first date to look out for in terms of getting this new heist. It would make sense if February 20 was the date. Rockstar pushes, a big title update that removes the Rockstar Editor from the old gen consoles while also adding the new heist and the new content. If I were to give my own guess, I would say, yeah, look, February or March would be the date that we would get this heist. And that's just going on based off what happened early in 2023. we got some content in mid-February, and then we also got a pretty big chunk of content in mid-March. I would expect Rockstar does a similar thing this year, which would free up June or July for them to release another big update, just like they did in 2023 with Mercenaries. Anyway, I'm not going to waste your time. We'll wrap the video up there. If you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up. Consider subscribing for more stuff like this. Let me know what you think. Is February 20 the day that we're getting the Clock and Bell farm raid? Or is this just a random date that Rockstar decided? Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!
Favorite color, money green. Paper. I've been on my grind since I was in the 7th grade.